Hi everyone, and welcome to the second panel on youth empowerment. My name is Maddie, and I'm a Stanford AMENDS team member. I'm originally from San Francisco. And it's my pleasure to welcome the moderator for this panel, Hamza, who, as you know, is the president of the Fellows Board. And he originally started from 2013. He started an organization now known as the Science League, which runs in Jordan and encourages science education among Jordanian youth, as well as critical thinking education and science knowledge in the general population. So please give a warm welcome to Hamza. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Yes. How are you all? So our subject today is youth empowerment. And as someone who works closely with the youth, I realize how important it is to invest in these new generations. And now I'm going to introduce a panel that works in my opinion, the hardest areas in the world to work in, to help youth have their own voice and really build their communities. So I will start by introducing Mr. Mohammad Omar from Egypt. He is co-founder of eYouth. Please have a seat. Second, we have Eman Hamdan from Palestine. She's co-founder and research development in Esnad. And then we have Amina Gouresh from Algeria. She's founder of an initiative called the Work and Improvement Youth Project. Please welcome her. And last but not least, we have Sami Ayyash from Palestine, founder and facilitator of the Bachelor Sisterhood. Nice to meet you. All right. So you guys obviously all have great projects, and I want to take a minute from each one of you to kind of give us a bit about your projects. Mohammed, if you could please.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy and honored to be here talking about my initiative, our initiative, indeed. So I'm Mohammad Omar from Cairo, Egypt, and I'm representing eYouth, which stands for Engaging and Empowering Egyptian Youth. We basically focus on youth empowerment through social entrepreneurship by helping the young people throughout the whole process, which starts from thinking about the creative ideas till they implement them on the ground. We help them by different tools, different things, guidance through the whole process, and networking if they need for their initiatives, as well mini grants for the winning projects. We started in 2012. We started with a summit, which is a different component of the project that we're running right now. And I'm going to explain this in the panel more. We currently have trained more than 3,750 young people all over Egypt, and we have access to 20 governorate all over Egypt. As well, we give many grants for 25 startups, and we also work as an incubator for the youth-led initiatives. We currently have a partnership with the Youth of Sports, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the Ministry of Culture. And thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, as Hamza introduced me, Eman Hamdan from Palestine. And my project is Esnad. Esnad is started as an idea in 2008 and officially registered as a non-profit company in 2013. What we do in Esnad, we provide scholarships for the university students in Palestine, based in Palestine, who are really needed for tuition fees, and they have to pay it forward by going to the community and tutoring group of primary school students who do poorly academically in certain classes. Our scholarships is promoted and sponsored by private sector in Palestine as a part of their social responsibility. One of our biggest donations come from Bachelor Group, is the biggest telecommunication company in Palestine, and Aramex. In 2014 alone, there was 125 university students who benefit from scholarships and more than 600 school students who benefit from tutoring sessions. The aim of this is like youth, to empower youth in the community through volunteerism and civic engagement. Thank you.
So hello everyone. The Work and Empowerment Project aims at developing students, empowering youth, lead young students through giving them the knowledge and the skills they need about leadership, social entrepreneurship, and also to develop their communicative and cross-cultural competence. How this is done through different various workshops. So when it comes to leadership and social entrepreneurship, they take part in different workshops with different experts in the field. For the development of public speaking and cross-cultural competences, they take part in video conferencing with different students from all over the world in order to encompass the different stereotypes that prevail between societies. So our aim in this project is to move the youth from a level of lack of experience or lack of awareness to a level of experience through providing them with the necessary knowledge and skills in order to make their ideas come to existence. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Samia Ayash again. My work, which I started about a year ago in the Bachelor refugee camp right outside of Amman, Jordan, is a popular education program for young girls, all of whom are orphans. So what is popular education? Popular education has been described as education for critical consciousness. So another unique part of the program, which I've also developed as a focus on the curriculum, is that it's asset-based community development. But also within this program, popular education at its core is liberation-based. So what that means is that for these young girls and for Palestinian communities everywhere, we cannot be liberated as a community, as a people, until we are until every mind is liberated, until their minds are free. So being liberation-focused is one of the core tenets of our program and of popular education. But I also want to talk about in Palestinian camps, education in all institutions that affect lives in Palestinian camps and outside of camps as well, and for Palestinians in exile. All of the institutions that affect their lives actually do very little to forward the cause of liberation. What they do is they preserve the status quo, which is why we as Palestinians need to become leaders in our movements to forward the cause for liberation. And also what I want to talk about is that when I say asset-based community development for this program, what I mean is that all of the tools and knowledge that we need as Palestinians to liberate ourselves and liberate our homeland, all of these assets are already found and are already available in our communities. But because of the institutions that exist around us, it's hard for us to discover them. So this program, the goal of it, is to address the main problems affecting Palestinians in camps and elsewhere. And those problems are the lack of just educational opportunities, disunity, and the lack of fruitful youth programming.
All right, thank you all. So, I mean, I have a teenage sister, and so I know how hard it is to deal with youth. So, but especially in the MENA region, we have so many other challenges that youth must face themselves, and then you as an organization working with them. So can you tell us just a bit about a specific problem or challenge that you face while working with the youth? Thank you.
For me, or?
Yeah, we can start with you, and then we'll...
I think one of the biggest problems I face working with young girls in the Arab world, especially in Palestinian camps, first I want to say the fact that there are not fair educational opportunities, but actually I think the biggest problem we face is patriarchy. Working with all young girls ages 12 to 16 years old who are orphans, working with their mothers and their families as well, it's very present in everyday life in the barriers and the borders that they put on themselves in their interactions, in their thoughts, that patriarchy has become something ingrained in them, even as women. And I want to give you guys an example. So at the beginning of my program, about a year ago, we did a workshop on dreams. And one of my girls told me she had no dreams. And so I was pushing her, and all of our workshops are based on experiential learning, and I was pushing her to tell me, what are your dreams? And eventually, she told me, well, I really want to be an engineer. I want to build the fastest car in the world. And I looked at her and I was like, that's amazing. Like, you can do it. I believe in her. I know she can. And then she says to me, but actually, I can't do it. I'm not allowed to have that dream because I'm a girl. And so that's what we're trying to break down as well.
Great, thank you. Amina?
So the main issues that are faced by the youth today is the lack of opportunities. Because if you look at the educational system, it is subject-oriented. So youth are not prepared for entrepreneurship or for taking leadership roles in the future. So the main problem that we face with this project is to get the youth to be committed to the project, to be devoted to the project. So we face at the beginning of the project some kind of difficulties in order to motivate them and to show them that this is really important and this is what you need to move forward. Thank you.
Well, actually, I have the same problem as Amina mentioned. This is a problem of commitment, and that the education system is subject-oriented, so it doesn't work on the personality development. Especially in Palestine, there's no extracurriculum activities to do, like sport, movies, cinema, anything like drama. So these are not existed. So they doesn't work on a self-development. So when you ask for someone like to volunteer for a scholarship, they find it like it's hard to commitment. Also, they have a lack of resources. Like one of our beneficiaries from scholarship, they have to do like weekly reports. Okay, and she doesn't have an internet in the house. She doesn't know how to do an email, so that would be her first time. So there's a difference between like to compare like resources for like, yeah, also the lack of resources for certain youth. This is one of also the problem I want to mention.
Okay, so I believe that in Egypt they say that we have a problem with unemployment, but I see it as a problem with education, not unemployment at the first place. So I see it as this because when you give education that doesn't meet the requirements of the market when people graduate, that's the problem, which is the education. So that is like the general focus on the general, thought on the problems that youth face in my society. But I mean, inside e-youth, for example, we have we have been struggling with two problems, which is delivering the knowledge of our young volunteers as well. The problem was connecting and keeping them inspired as we work through the whole year. So we have to keep them inspired. If they're not inspired, if they're not motivated to do work, they're not gonna volunteer, they're not gonna continue to do the work, the awesome work that they keep doing in our organization. So these are like the main problems that we have faced with the youth. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, so now I want to kind of follow that question up with, you've talked about how the youth are facing problems with the resources they have. Can you tell us a bit about how your initiatives are trying to kind of compensate these problems and deal with these challenges? And we can start with you, Mohammad, and go for it.
Yeah, so in the general concept that I talked about, which is education, we're not really targeting education, but we are targeting the young people to develop them and develop their knowledge so that they can be aware of what to choose in the future. Because this is a problem when you ask someone about what do you want to be in the future, obviously you're going to have only 3 answers. Either he's going to be a doctor or an engineer or a police officer or whatever. So what we work on is helping them to explore themselves and find what is motivating them, the real passion, the passion that they want to seek and struggle for and strive for in this life. So we try to keep them inspired by spreading the spirit during our summits and camps. And I believe this is one of the main keys that keep the organization holding like this. And if we didn't focus on the spirit, I guess we're gonna lose the whole network in our organization. Thank you.
One of the things that youth face or they lack actually is a good opportunity to continue their higher education, so especially girls, and that's why 70% of our the people who got the scholarships of youth, we're targeting girls, so 70% of them are girls. And this is one of also what we do through our initiative is develop their skills, their self-development skills through 1 year volunteerism with the younger generation. So they will have time management skills, communication skills with others, and how to develop and getting new ideas, how I can contribute to my community. And this is one of the most important thing, is like involving youth and community to know what they want in real life.
So as a solution for this lack of awareness and this lack of civil engagement and this lack of abilities in order to make ideas happen, what we try to do in this project is to engage youth in civil society through volunteering opportunities, through different visits to different NGOs. So we put them in the spot that helps them to see how things are getting done by different non-profit organization and NGOs. Also, we are trying to help them to overcome public speaking, struggling, and also to develop their cross-cultural competence to make them collaborate with different students with different cultures. On the other hand, we also engage them in different workshops and different classes with the experts in different fields in order to promote their leadership capacities and their social entrepreneurship skills and knowledge. So that's how we help them to take their ideas and actually think and start to act to make them happen.
And to combat some of the main problems that the young girls in my program face, a big part of the program is academic. It's supplementary to the schools, but also what we've done is engage the families and the mothers in the program. Recently I found that that was one of the biggest missing pieces of the program, but after winning the mothers over and the families and the community, the buy-in from the whole community, not just the girls, it became so much greater, and there was this greater sense of belonging to the program and to the goals and that we're trying to achieve.
Great. Well, thank you all. Now I just want to open the floor for questions. We'll take a couple of questions, and then the panel can feel free to choose and answer any question you feel like answering, okay? So let's begin. Any questions? All right. Ah, that is very interesting. Zainab?
Use the mic so I can hear you.
So my question is one of scalability, and you did all mention at what scale you're working on now. Do you have any dreams or aspirations of taking this to a different scale? Perhaps you've encountered challenges with the scale that you are working and want to downsize. I think a lot of us, even as AMENDS as an organization, scale is a challenge that we're focusing on. Or perhaps like Samia talked about, bringing in other actors into the program, such as mothers, and getting that buy-in. So if you could just talk a little bit more about that, I think that would be helpful and open the door to a lot of other questions.
So in terms of scale with my popular education program, one of the goals I'm working on right now is printing and publishing the entire curriculum that I've developed in Arabic. Because this curriculum costs almost nothing to apply, all of the assets that are needed are available in the community. But my ideas for scale are that this curriculum can be taken online, it would be free, and can be applied with simple training and resources that would be free online in any Palestinian camp in the Arab world, or in any Palestinian community in exile anywhere. So my ideas for scale are that in the future, it would be applied in Palestinian communities everywhere.
Okay, so the major goal that we want to reach in our organization is that to move beyond the regional level to the national level. So to host students and to help students to develop not only in the region or in the city I'm in, but also in the whole nation. Also, another thing is that to make collaborations and to build platforms not only across the MENA region, but also across the world, to a youth networking platform in order to better collaborate and better reach our goals.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about two things. We are working now on doing a database for all available scholarships in Palestine for youth, and will be printed out with the Ministry of Education, so it will be available for everyone to know about available scholarship in Palestine. Also, we are for future goals, we're working on training for trainers, so there will be a youth who will be a leader in the community and will be working with the younger generation in things related to self-development and better education. Internally in our organization, we are now working on sustainability strategies and how we're going to maintain ourselves.
Okay, so when we started in 2012, we had only one project that we were focusing on, which is EU Summit, and that was the only program that we do, which is a summit that is 7-day camp where we get to train people and help them out to figure the creative ideas, and then compete at the end of the week, and then give them many grants for the winning projects, and give them a 2 months or something and implement the project. But now we're actually expanding and extending year after year. So the year after, which is 2013, we had a new project called Youth Cup. And Youth Cup is mainly targeting the governorates so that we can have a small functioning e-youth in each governorate in Egypt. And as I said, that we have access to 20 governorates in Egypt. So what we do right now is a competition inside the governorate itself, and the winners come to compete with the winners from all over Egypt, and this is the local competition on Egypt level. So we are hoping to make it on the regional level and then on the international level, and we're willing and hoping to see a future generation of future leaders and future generation of social entrepreneurs changing the face of Egypt and the world. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mohammad, Eman, Amina, and Samia. Thank you all for coming here, and that's the panel, I think. Yeah, we're done with questions, so I'm sorry. Thanks.